We all know the iconic Apollo missions that brought the first humans to the moon. But how did it come together, and how did it end? Due to the Cold War and rivalry of the United States and Soviet Union, in the later 50s the space race emerged to show which nation was superior in technology and was the scientific primacy in space. This, in the early 60s, gave way to the Apollo program, which started developing the plan and outlines for putting a human on the moon before the end of the decade. Because of the space race and political backing NASA had, the budget was much higher than it is today. It was about $25 billion. With inflation, that would be around $190 billion today. This massive budget was essential to bring humans to the moon and safely back, especially since the technology wasn't nearly as developed as today. For humans to even get to the moon, very powerful and big rockets were developed. At the start of the program, the technical director and rocket scientist Wernher von Braun and his team got to work. There were 4 different ones. The biggest one, Saturn V, was used for the Apollo missions. It carried the astronauts, the command and service module, and the Apollo lunar module. The command and service module flew the astronauts to the moon and functioned as their main ship. The Apollo lunar module was for landing the astronauts on the surface. After the astronauts were done on the moon, the upper half of the lunar module would snap up and dock to the command and service module. On February the 21st, the first manned mission was planned, Apollo 1. It was supposed to be a test of the CSM in low Earth orbit, but sadly, on January the 21st, during a launch rehearsal, the 3 astronauts died due to a fire. After Apollo 1, Apollo 4, 5 and 6 followed. They were all uncrewed missions for testing. Apollo 7 to 10 were crewed missions. Apollo 10 came close to 15 kilometers away from the moon's surface, but none of these missions landed on the moon. Then, on the 20th of July 1969, Apollo 11 landed 2 astronauts, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, on the moon. It was a historic moment, and everyone and their mama was watching it on TV. After a successful moon landing with Apollo 11 and 12, 13 was to do the same, but things didn't go as planned. Because Apollo 13 was a near disastrous lunar mission, causing the crew to abandon landing plans and try to fly back to Earth safely. The mission was intended to be the 3rd moon landing, but the astronauts ended up circling the moon before safely returning to Earth. In the following 2.5 years, a grand total of 12 men walked on the moon. In Apollo 15, a lunar rover was driven for the first time on the moon. And Apollo 17 marked the end of the Apollo program. Or should I say, the Apollo Moon program. Because after Apollo 17, plans were already in the works for a Mars mission. And many people at NASA, like the rocket scientist Wernher von Braun, had already made concepts and plans for a Mars manned mission since the 50s. But it goes without saying that putting a human on Mars is very costly. And I mean very costly. The estimate in the 1970s was about $500 billion, and even that budget was very understated. With the addition of the Vietnam War and the disinterest of space in the public, the president at the time, Richard Nixon, chose between the space shuttle program or extending the Apollo program and sending humans to Mars. There would not be enough money for both.